Boxing is finally back. And I ain't talking about that propaganda, Paul brother, Mayweather bullshit that's been going on the last few months. I'm talking about real legit boxing. What up? It's your boy B Reed for this episode of To Be Named Later. And we are talking about the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight happening this weekend. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Support your boy. But man, I'm so excited for this fight. This is the much anticipated third fight in the matchup. If you don't remember, the first fight happened on December 2018. That fight ended in a draw. Controversial draw, because even though Deontay Wilder knocked Fury down twice, one of those knockdowns, I'm surprised Fury got up for. I feel like Fury thoroughly outboxed Deontay Wilder for at least 9 of the 12 rounds, probably 10, not counting the ones that he got knocked down for, and those are questionable. In that fight, Deontay Wilder was able to bring undefeated Fury back to the ring, who was suffering from drug addiction, and he had some weight problems. So in this fight, he had to lose a lot of weight. He had to get over whatever substances he was on. So you could tell that he was probably only about 60% in that fight. Still, the 6'9" boxer showed his skill set. That is probably one of the best in the heavyweight division, maybe ever. The way he moves and he slips punches, but he didn't have the power and he really didn't have the endurance. You could tell he was tired, but I thought he did a great job. Either way, it ended in a draw, which allowed Deontay Wilder to keep his WBC title. They had a rematch scheduled, which took place in February of 2020, in which Tyson Fury came back and he was closer to 100%. And in that fight, he showed his sheer dominance. He was still able to slip the punches and show his boxing skill, but he was able to punish Deontay Wilder for those mistakes that he made. Deontay Wilder, in my opinion, is not a great boxer. He's a power puncher. He always has a puncher's chance because he has pure power, but he doesn't punch well. He doesn't set up his punches well. And Tyson Fury exposed that. In this fight, Tyson Fury was able to knock him out in 7 rounds. Now, Wilder had a couple of excuses. I'm not going for it because the way he talked about he wanted to kill him in the ring, all the pre-fight propaganda, just it's hard for me to feel sorry for Wilder and what happened. He came in with a suit that was way too heavy, probably took too much out of his legs. He looked fatigued. He looked tired. He looked like he might have been injured. But to go along with that, his game plan just didn't work. It's like they didn't watch any film in the first fight. And Fury dominated him. So all those excuses that he has fall straight into the category of your fucking fault. He should have came in better prepared. Now, he did fire his trainer, and he got another trainer to, kind of fix his boxing skill. Now, Wilder activated his rematch clause since he was the champion. The problem is Wilder suffered an injury. They were supposed to have a fight in August 2019, but he suffered an injury that caused the fight to get pushed back. Due to the COVID pandemic and other factors like TV spots, Fury believed that the rematch clause wasn't effective anymore, and he tried to schedule a fight with Anthony Joshua, who had just regained his titles back from Andy Ruiz. Anthony Joshua held the WBA, IBF, and WBO titles, a British boxer who was going to do a unifying match with Tyson Fury in London. This was going to be a mega fight. Maybe not for America, but everywhere else, this was a mega fight because this will be a unification of the heavyweight division. Unfortunately, a judge ruled that Deontay Wilder still had a case for a rematch, so that fight had to be scheduled. Dominoes fall. Anthony Joshua decides to take on his mandatory challenger, who is Ukrainian Alexander Usyk, who was 19-0, the undisputed cruiserweight champion, and the 2012 gold medalist. Now, even though Anthony Joshua had the matchup advantage in size, weight, power, everything, Usyk thoroughly outboxed Anthony Joshua, forcing him to lose his title for the second time in 2 years. First, as I mentioned earlier, he lost it to Andy Ruiz, but he was able to get it back in the rematch. Now this Usyk now joins Elite Company. He's the only of 3 fighters who currently has held the cruiserweight champion and the heavyweight championship at the same time. His company, David Haye and Evander Holyfield. That's Elite Company. Now, everyone expects Anthony Joshua to activate his rematch clause and for them to have a rematch next year. I think that Anthony Joshua probably can adjust and win that fight. and that could set up a mega fight. But back to the big fight this weekend that we're talking about, the third rubber match between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Now, personally, I have Fury in this matchup. I think Fury is a superior boxer. He's 6'9", he moves well, the Magic Man, and I haven't seen anything for Deontay Wilder to say that he can put his punches together well enough to hit Fury. And if Fury is showcasing the same power that he showcased in the second fight, I just think this is going to be a hard fight for Wilder. Now, the longer Wilder goes, the better chance that he has of landing that hammer right hand. Punching power is crazy. So he has a chance, a puncher's chance, but I have Fury in this fight. And if Fury's able to win this fight, hopefully Joshua can regain his titles and we can get the matchup, the unifying matchup that as boxing fans, I think we all want to see, and that's Tyson Fury against Joshua. Now, the big thing here is at least the heavyweight division is back. Now, personally, I believe that boxing is not boxing without the heavyweight division. The middleweight division is great, but if you don't have a villain such as a Sugar Ray Leonard or a, Floyd Mayweather, someone that can sell the fights, is not going to bring in the average boxing fan. The heavyweight division with knockouts and power, I think that brings the average boxing fan something that even a Canelo and Plant may not bring to boxing. And I think that can supplant what we've been seeing with this bullshit. If we get an actual heavyweight division, I think that's good for boxing all around. No matter who wins this weekend, we still have 4 legit contenders. We have Tyson Fury, who's a big, pure boxer. We have Wilder, who's a power puncher. We have Joshua, who's kind of a mix of both, but has a glass chin. And we have Usyk, the undersized, pure boxer who could give any of these fighters trouble. So it's just good for the boxing as a whole. Now, Deontay Wilder and Fury, they are already guaranteed 10 million. Now, since Fury is the champion, everyone thinks it's a 60-40 split. So Fury probably is coming in at 6 million, Wilder about 4 million, but both fighters, people project that they will see well over $25 million for this fight. And that's before pay-per-view. So I look forward to seeing this fight. As I said, I got Fury. Let me know who you got. But this is the episode to be named later. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. I'm your boy B Reed. Peace.